Good morning. It's Friday, May 9th. Here's what we're working on so far. A man is in hospital following an overnight shooting in central Hamilton.
Ontario is reporting nearly 200 new measles cases as the virus spreads across the country.
And another Edmonton Oilers comeback puts the Golden Knights in a stranglehold. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Morning Live. I'm Emily Taylor. Adam Atkinson in, and it's our last day here.
It's our last day, and you know what? I think I saw my breath this morning when leaving the house. Not a good start.
I almost left it out of jacket. I hadn't checked, but it was so nice yesterday during the day.
Yeah.
I almost left without a coat on, and I was so glad I didn't.
We got better as the day went on yesterday, but
Yeah.
then the skies cleared overnight, and that's like kicking off the blankets. So it's chilly this morning, 3 degrees. That's all we have at the moment, and we could fall a little bit further. The sun hasn't established yet, but it will in 2 minutes. The sun is coming up at 6:03 here this morning, and we will see the sun today. It's going to be a much better day. At least the temperature will improve. We got to only 11 degrees yesterday, so far below seasonal. Today, still staying below seasonal, but at least we'll climb to 15. A weekend coming up. It's going to be a lovely weekend, nice and sunny and warm. Both Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk about that coming up. As I said, right now we're sitting at 3, going to 15 today in the sunshine. Checking traffic, it's Friday, volume's usually lighter, and that's the way it is right now. The 403 and Waterdown Road, absolutely nothing going on. We have no reports of any collisions. To some MTO traffic cameras, Millard Road in Stony Creek is still fairly light. Toronto bound heading away from us on that shot. Same here at the top of the Skyway. Yep, coming towards us now, Toronto bound east of Burloak. It's like that right around the horseshoe. So not a lot to see this morning so far. We'll keep you posted. Weather and traffic coming up as usual. Right now, the news.
Thanks, Brian. Hamilton police are investigating after an overnight shooting sent one man to hospital. Simone Gavros joins us live from the scene with all the details. Simone, what can you tell us so far?
Well, Emily, we know that police cleared the scene around 3 a.m. this morning after they gathered all the evidence they needed. But this happened near a business on Main Street East and East Avenue South around 12:30 a.m. this morning. Now, police do say that the exact location of where the shooting took place is still being investigated. They haven't been able to determine that just yet, but they say that the victim was found in front of the businesses on this street. Now, multiple reports were called in about the shooting that took place this morning around 12:30 a.m. It's unknown where exactly the victim had an interaction with the shooter, according to initial witness statements. A 50-year-old man from Hamilton is now in hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the investigation into how many suspects were involved remains ongoing, and they also say the victim is not being cooperative at this time. So right now, it's still unknown as well if the suspects fled on foot or in a vehicle. Police are still reviewing a lot of video surveillance footage at this time of the area, and they're asking anybody who was in this area around 12:30 a.m. to reach out to police for those details. For now, things back over to you, Adam.
Thank you very much, Simone. A Hamilton man has been arrested following an international investigation into firearms smuggling across Canada-U.S. border. Ontario Provincial Police conducted the investigation alongside the U.S. Department of Homeland Security into the alleged importation of firearms and prohibited devices from the United States into Canada. 24-year-old Daniel Menezes was arrested in Burlington on April 16th. He's facing 19 firearms-related charges, including importing a firearm knowing it's unauthorized. Menezes will remain in custody until his first court appearance on May 14th.
Peel police have arrested 7 people, including a man from Oakville, in a vehicle fraud investigation. Police say that 42-year-old Ankur Batiani was an employee at a Mississauga car dealership, where he allegedly forged the documents for 10 fraudulent vehicle sales with a total value of nearly $375,000. Police allege the fraudsters then planned to ship the 10 cars out of the country. Batiani was arrested last week and is facing 3 fraud-related charges. 6 additional people have been charged, 3 women and 3 men from the Toronto area and GTA. Police are still looking for 34-year-old Christian Phillip and 22-year-old Gabriel Chirita. Both are wanted for fraud over $5,000. Officers have recovered all of the stolen vehicles.
Waterloo police are asking for the public's help finding a man wanted on multiple criminal charges. Police say 44-year-old Jonathan Mayer is currently wanted on 7 outstanding warrants for crimes including robbery with violence, theft under $5,000, and failing to appear for court. Mayer has connections to the Waterloo region and is known to frequent Kitchener, Cambridge, and Waterloo. Police say to call 911 if you spot him and don't approach.
Ontario health officials are reporting 197 new cases of measles in the province over the last week. That brings the province's tally of probable and confirmed cases to 1,440 since the outbreak began in October. There have been 101 hospitalizations, including 75 children, and 8 patients have been in intensive care. Health officials also say the highly contagious disease has now spread to new parts of the country, with Nova Scotia and Northwest Territories each reporting their first measles cases since the outbreak began this week.
Some Ontario mayors are calling for the province to ban municipalities from enticing new doctors with cash. They say it's harmful to rural and northern communities who can't afford to match those financial incentives. Sault Ste. Marie Mayor Matthew Shoemaker is going even further, suggesting the federal government should outlaw the practice from coast to coast. A Ministry of Health spokesperson said the government has made big investments to connect more Ontarians with doctors, but didn't directly respond to a question on whether it would consider banning municipalities' financial incentives.
New research out of McMaster University has directly linked consumption of ultra-processed foods to several health issues. The paper published in a peer-reviewed journal says consumption of ultra-processed foods was linked with correlating levels of high blood pressure and cholesterol and was not affected by the individual's age, size, and level of activity. Ultra-processed foods are typically considered prepackaged items that contain ingredients such as additives, emulsifiers, flavor enhancers, and colors. Examples include potato chips, hot dogs, deli meat, and frozen foods. A stretch of James Street North will be closed tonight to allow for a safe art crawl experience. Temporary road closures will be in place from 5 to 11 p.m. on James Street North from York Boulevard to Murray Street East. This time around, city staff will start bagging parking meters a little later at 1 p.m. to prepare for these road closures. People are encouraged to walk, bike, or scooter on over to James and check out the art vendors, see what they have to offer. Studios, galleries, shops, and restaurants will be keeping their doors open late for the return of the event. Art Crawl happens every second Friday of the month, and this year the road closure schedule has been expanded into October.
All right, it's time for a look at sports. And remember when the Edmonton Oilers lost their first 2 games against the LA Kings in round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs? Well, everyone was counting them out then. But since then, they haven't lost.
Here's McDavid, working past Eichel. McDavid holds, Draisaitl scores! McDavid and Draisaitl combine for the game winner. Edmonton wins it in overtime.
Oh my goodness. Leon Draisaitl scored 15 minutes into the first overtime to give the Oilers a 5-4 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights and a 2-0 lead in their second round series. Vegas trailed 4-2 in the third period before forcing OT. Hamilton's Darnell Nurse scored his second goal of the postseason, and Oilers goalie Calvin Pickard turned aside 28 shots in the win. Game 3 is tomorrow night in Edmonton. Connor McMichael opened the scoring in the second period, and Logan Thompson made 27 saves to lead the Capitals over Carolina 3-1 to even their second-round playoff series at 1-1. The Hurricanes' streak of 19 consecutive penalty kills to start the postseason ended when John Carlson scored on the power play to make it a 2-zip Caps in the third. Canes will host Game 3 tomorrow night. The Leafs and Panthers renew hostilities tonight in Florida, where the visitors will try to take a commanding 3-0 lead in their second-round series. Leafs blue liner Morgan Riley is expecting another hard-fought contest against the defending champs.
We're playing against a team that's also very comfortable in that position, and I would expect the games to be close and competitive moving forward. So for us, it's just about being comfortable.
It's the first time since 1963 that Toronto has taken a 2-0 lead in multiple best-of-7 series during the same postseason. You'd have to go back to 1948 for the last time the Leafs had back-to-back 3-0 series leads. Joel Quenneville is returning to the NHL with the Anaheim Ducks. It's his first head coaching job since he resigned and was banned from the league for his handling of a sexual assault scandal involving the Chicago Blackhawks. The 66-year-old Quenneville last coached the Florida Panthers 3.5 years ago. Quenneville is the second winningest coach in the NHL history with 969 career wins and has 3 Stanley Cup rings with the Blackhawks.
McMahon the other way, has Clark with her. Emily Clark for Ottawa, to D'Arcangelo in her lane, she scores! Ottawa regains the lead, Cheyenne D'Arcangelo finds the back of the net.
The Ottawa Charge have struck first in their PWHL semifinal against Montreal, beating the Victoire 3-2. Gwyneth Phillips stopped 31 shots for Ottawa, who were picked by Montreal as their first-round opponent. The Oshawa Generals struck first in the OHL final, doubling the London Knights 4-2. Andrew Gibson scored 2 goals on the power play as Oshawa went 3 for 9 with the man advantage, while the Knights cashed in on one of their 3 opportunities. Game 2 is on tap tomorrow in London.
All right, let's get you into this Friday morning, 9th of May, and the sun is already up, and we're going to see it throughout the day today. 6:11 is the time. Looking at the 403 and Waterdown Road behind me, that's doing okay, so nothing to see on our exclusive camera there. To some MTO traffic cameras as usual. I usually start in St. Catharines and then show you some as we continue around the Horseshoe. QEW east of Lake looks good. Stony Creek at Millen Road. Here's a look at Fairview as we head into Burlington and then head around into Oakville east of Royal Windsor Drive. Look at how light the volume is through here. Even at Dixie, going through Mississauga, no problems on the road so far this morning. And the road should be nice and dry because we're going to have the sunshine for the day today. Let's check our temperature right now. Start you off at 3 degrees. Yeah, that's below seasonal. That's a chilly morning. There are frost advisories in effect. Not for Halton, at Burlington, Oakville, not for the Niagara Peninsula, but for the rest of us. Yep, around us, the frost advisory is in effect. So winds are light. The sun is up and it is shining right now. So we're going to climb to 15 degrees. That's what it's going to set up for school today. That northeast wind, we just can't seem to kick that to the curb. We're going to have that once again for the day today. No problems with air quality in the low risk category again today. That low off the east coast isn't going to bother us. It's going to stay off the east coast. That ridge of high is going to give us the sunshine for today, tomorrow, into Sunday, even into Monday. A weak cold front will go through, give us a little bit of cloud cover as we continue through the weekend, but just a bit. Look at the temperatures today, much better. 14, 15, 16. We only got to 11 yesterday, even 17 for Peel into Toronto. Tonight, another cool night. 3 degrees around the Horseshoe, 5 for Burlington, but 1 patchy frost once again tonight. Frost into Guelph and Kitchener as the temperature hits 0 there. And tomorrow, what a beautiful Saturday. 19 to 20 for Niagara, 22 around the west of the Horseshoe. Lovely sunshine, so we'll call it a mainly sunny day for the day tomorrow. So out the door, 9th morning of May, the sky is fairly clear. The sun is up, it is cool. Our temperature sitting at 3 degrees right now. We'll look at the long-range forecast coming up. Emily, Adam.
Thanks so much, Brian. All right, coming up after the break, we'll say good morning to Emily Vukuc with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat.
And in business news, Stats Canada will release its latest look at the country's job market for April this morning.
Welcome back to Morning Live. Now, before we get into Chit Chat, Emily Vukovic, I just want to say we had a bit of a jam session this morning. There was some singing happening, some songs going on.
Party time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Emily was very much enjoying it. So
I really was. As soon as Carly Jepsen, Call Me Maybe came on, I was like, that's my jam.
And I didn't even ruin it with my singing, which is awesome.
What? There was singing. There was
some ruining, just a little bit.
There was definitely singing. I don't know if there was ruining. All right, Emily, what do we have going on today?
Okay, well, Pop-Tarts is expanding into the freezer aisle.
Okay.
We will discuss.
Okay.
And 10 Things I Hate About You is being turned into a trilogy 26 years later.
That confuses me deeply. I'm intrigued and excited, but deeply confused.
Later on this morning, Parks and Recreation star Amy Poehler and co-creator Mike Schur are re-teaming for a brand new comedy.
All right. All sounds great. We're going to chat some more over on the couch in a few minutes. All right, in our business news, the Canadian dollar is up 7 basis points, trading overseas at 71.87 cents U.S. Gold is up slightly to 75 cents, and crude is up, also trading just over $60 a barrel today. In midday European trading, markets are up across the board in London, Frankfurt, and in Paris.
Over in Asia, markets were huge gains. Tokyo and Hong Kong, but down slightly in Shanghai. And in North American markets, the TSX gained 92 points, the Dow gained 254, the NASDAQ gained 189.
Statistics Canada will release its latest look at the country's job markets for April this morning. A poll provided by LSEG Data and Analytics shows economists on average predicted a gain of 2,500 jobs in the month. Economists also predicted the unemployment rate will rise by 1/10 of a point to 6.8%. The reading follows the March report that saw a loss of 33,000 jobs and unemployment rate rise to 6.7%. It was the biggest job loss since January 2022 as the uncertainty caused by U.S. tariffs took their toll on the economy.
The national average asking rent is down annually for a 7th straight month. According to the latest data from rentals.ca, asking rents in the province fell 2.7% to an average of $2,338. In Hamilton, Brantford, and Niagara Falls, the average one-bedroom apartment is currently sitting around $1,700 a month. The latest data says despite asking rents remain comparatively lower than 2024 so far this year, April saw a month-over-month increase of 0.4% from March, reaching a 5-month high.
The Supreme Court of Canada has dismissed an appeal request to halt the construction of a rail and truck hub in the Greater Toronto Area. The judges' panel gave no reason for the decision. The $250 million project aims to double Canadian National Railway's existing line of tracks in Milton and construct a hub for containers to be transferred between trucks and trains. The project was approved by the federal government back in 2021. Construction is underway on the Milton Logistics Hub, with Phase 3 expected to be finished sometime next year.
WestJet says it is pausing 9 routes between Canada and the U.S. as travel between the two countries has lowered. The airline is suspending flights from Vancouver to Austin until October. WestJet is also planning on stopping trips to other U.S. destinations such as Orlando, Los Angeles, and Chicago, but those suspensions will happen at different times throughout the summer. A recent Leger poll suggests that a majority of those surveyed believe it is no longer safe to travel to the U.S.
EB Games is getting an extra life in Canada. That's because GameStop Canada says it has been acquired by French-Canadian entrepreneur Stéphane Tétrault from the video games retailer's struggling parent company. Officially named Electronics Boutique Canada Inc., GameStop Canada says it will relaunch the 185 stores as EB Games Canada. GameStop was one of the companies at the center of the meme stock craze on Wall Street, which saw struggling brands' share prices soar as retail investors made risky bets. Its sales last year declined 27% to $3.82 billion.
Weight Watchers has filed for bankruptcy. The 62-year-old diet program announced it is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection to eliminate $1.15 billion in debt. During the bankruptcy process, Weight Watchers says operations for members will continue as normal. Weight Watchers has recently struggled to keep up with more convenient weight loss options, including GLP-1 drugs such as Ozempic and Wegovy. The most recent earnings from February revealed a 12% decline in members.
All right, let's look at some business news this half hour. We're going to take a quick break, and then Brian will be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast, and things are looking up this weekend.
6:23, sun is up and it is shining nicely here on this Friday morning. Let's look at our MTO traffic cameras. QEW 7th and St. Catharines, again, looks good. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, starting to slow, but still moving all right. No problems east of Burloak. Lorne Park looks good. We did have a disabled vehicle, 427, coming towards us down to the QEW, but that is now gone. So there's some good news. All right, temperature this morning. Hamilton, yeah, we're struggling. 3 degrees is our our temperature right now. A bit better, Mississauga 4, 6 Grimsby, 7 into Toronto. Sky is pretty clear. It's mainly sunny sky at the moment, but the sky is going to be sunny for the for the day today. Those are our sun times records for today. Seasonals now are 18 for the daytime high and 6 for the overnight low. So we were below that yesterday. We're below that this morning for the overnight low. So we should be 9 degrees for the first bell and lovely sunshine and sun and 15 degrees for after school. So that's how the day shapes up. Sunny, bit of a northeast wind, 15 for today. Tonight, another chilly night. Skies clear and 3. Tomorrow, look at that, sunny and 22. Mother's Day, sunny and 17. Then we climb back to the 20s again for Monday and Tuesday with sun and a little unsettled as we get toward midweek next week. That's your forecast. Emily, Adam.
Beautiful weather, Brian, making another. We won't start that anything.
No.
Imagine opening your front door to find dozens of cases of dum-dum lollipops.
Well, that is exactly what happened to a woman in Lexington, Kentucky. Her son accidentally ordered 70,000 suckers on Amazon while he was playing on her phone. She says she tried to stop the order before it came to her house, but it was too late. $4,000 later, Amazon had delivered 22 cases to her home. The order was so large she had to put some in her garage. Luckily for her, Amazon is fully refunding the money, and she says she will be donating all of the lollipops.
All right, so time out. Amazon's giving her the money back, but not asking for the lollipops to be returned.
This is what it sounds like, yes.
Wow.
I know, I think it'd be more work for them to go back and get the lollipops and bring them back to the
ship
warehouse.
Them back, I guess, but
yeah.
$4,000 worth of lollipops. Kid's got 10 cavities right now.
No, he's not, it sounds like she's donating all of them.
I was just kidding.
He's not allowed to have any of them.
I guess not. You can't reward him for doing some online shopping.
Well, he's just sitting there now, like looking at these cases of lollipops, just like not allowed to have any of them. Apparently, he's 8 years old, and the New York Times also did this report, and the story here goes: as the cases are coming in and being set on the porch, the kid goes, "Mom, my lollipops arrived," and she's like, "Huh? What do you mean?"
You're grounded.
Yeah. So
Here's
don't let your kids play on your phone. No games on phones. No credit cards. Yeah, that seems to be happening a bunch, and mostly with video games. I've heard stories where kids will be in-app purchasing like thousands of dollars worth of like Fortnite coins and things like that. It's dangerous out there. All right, stay with us. We have a whole lot more to come after the break.